everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm taking you with me on my 10-day trip through Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. If you're into scenic drives, chill vibes, seafood feasts, and a little bit of history sprinkled in, this trip might be for you. I'll share what I did day by day, the food I ate, what's worth it, what's a miss, and of course, the honest truth from a Toronto girl who might be a little spoiled with food options. So let's get into it. Day 1. Arrival in Halifax. We hopped on a quick 2-hour WestJet flight from Toronto to Halifax. Tickets were about $300 round trip per person. Not bad. By the time we landed, it was late, and guess what? Pretty much everything in Halifax was closed, except Denny's. So yeah, our first Nova Scotia meal was country fried steak and a T-bone. Not exactly lobster rolls by the ocean, but hey, survival. We grabbed our car rental for the next 10 days, $830 in total, which is not bad, and drove 20 minutes into the city into our first hotel in Dartmouth, where we will be spending the next 3 nights for $398. Day 2, exploring Halifax. We started with the Seafood Farmers Market right by Pier 21. Fun fact, Pier 21 is basically Canada's Ellis Island. Over 1 million immigrants first set foot in Canada right here. Parking is free on weekends until 5 p.m., which is always a win. I grabbed a latte for $4 and we strolled along the Halifax Harbour Walk, a boardwalk lined with restaurants, shops, and views of the water.
Following with like young movie around north. Chili fries.
If you're a fan of quirky tours, there's also a thing called the Harper Hopper. It's this amphibious boat that drives around the city like a bus and then plunges into the harbor. It looks fun. Tickets are about $70, but we skipped it. If you've got kids or want to experience a bus that magically becomes a boat, it's a solid option. For lunch, we splurged at the Bicycle Thief. You need to book a month in advance. It's that popular. I had a lobster roll for $32. My husband got the steak sandwich for $29. And of course, we had some drinks. The lobster roll was super fresh. Worth it. We tried to squeeze in some sightseeing. Visited the Citadel. Free entry, but it closes at 5 p.m.
Oh, look, it makes weird sounds.
We then grabbed ice cream at Cow's, which claims to be the world's best ice cream. $10 later, I will say it was creamy and delicious, but is it really the world's best ice cream? We skipped the Immigration Museum because at $20 per person, it felt steep for a museum we weren't super invested in. Instead, we did some shopping at Halifax Shopping Centre before calling it a night. Day 3, Peggy's Cove and downtown Halifax. We drove out to Poly Cove Trail, just a short hike with gorgeous coastal views. Parking at Peggy's Cove is a nightmare after 10 a.m., so pro tip, go early. Peggy's Cove is one of the most photographed lighthouses in Canada, and for good reasons. It's perched on a dramatic granite rocks with waves crashing in. Honestly, you can do both the trail and the lighthouse in a few hours. We were finished everything after 2 to 3 hours. We hopped on a quick 20-minute boat cruise, $20 per person. Nice. Not exactly life-changing though. In your room, what's that picture you got?
Right.
Back in Halifax, we scored all-day parking for $5 behind Park Lane, which is amazing compared to Toronto prices. For dinner, we tried Jet Sushi, an A spot that felt like stepping back into Toronto's sushi scene from 10 years ago. Not much variety, but it scratched the itch.
It's good?
We ended the night at the Public Gardens, which was once the fashionable spot to stroll in Halifax. Picture Victorian-era outfits, parasols, and people silently judging each other. These days, it's just peaceful gardens, but still charming. Day 4, to Prince Edward Island. The next day, we packed up our stuff and headed to Prince Edward Island. We drove across the Confederation Bridge, the longest bridge in the world over ice-covered water. Fun fact, it's 12.9 kilometers long, and while it's free to enter PEI, it'll cost you about $50 to leave the bridge. Basically, PEI traps you with lobster and beaches until you pay up.
Green Gables.
We headed straight to Anne of Green Gables. Admission is $6 unless you come in the summer when it's free. The house inspired L.M. Montgomery's famous novel, and honestly, even if you're not a fan, it's worth seeing the setting that inspired such a classic.
I gotta get
Your hair is wet, your eyes.
How long are we gonna be in this area?
Dinner was at New Glasgow Lobster Suppers, an absolute feast. For $52, you get a pound of lobster, plus sides, mussels, chowder, salad, dessert, drinks, the works. You can also get a second serving of sides and desserts. My husband got a 2-pound lobster for $73, and he said there was so much more meat in the legs compared to the 1-pounder that he's only getting 2 pounds from now on. My tip, skip the chicken, it's dry. Don't be that person who orders chicken at a lobster supper.
Oh yeah, that looks so good.
Oh, what's that thing on the side? Scallop potato? Did they got coffee?
We also stopped at downtown Charlottetown, the capital of PEI. Parking is free on weekends, but word of warning, it doesn't feel super safe at night. Let's just say we didn't stick around.
How does it look?
5 to Cape Breton.
On anything out. I know.
To leave PEI, we took the Wood Island Ferry, a 70-minute ride that carries you and your car across. Normally $100, but we lucked out with a half-price promo at $50.
Going on a boat, guys.
From there, we started the drive into Cape Breton at the beginning of the legendary Cabot Trail. This trail is the main reason we came here. And let me tell you, the hype is real. Think winding coastal roads, cliffs dropping into the ocean, fishing villages, and views that make you want to pull over every 5 minutes.
A lot of water.
We stop at Inverness Beach, a huge sandy stretch perfect for a quick walk, before making it to Shetty Camp, our base for the next 2 nights.
Oh, look at that. Oh, it's pretty nice. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Shetty Camp is a small Acadian fishing village. There's not a ton going on, but it's cozy and right at the park's doorstep. Dinner at the Doryman Pub and Grill was fine. Let's just say Toronto food has spoiled us.
Oh, you know what? We have to try the scallops.
Yeah, but I don't think this is the place to.
The oysters. Oddly enough.
Day 6, whale watching and Skyline Trail. We grabbed a park pass for Cape Breton Highlands National Park, $17 per car, valid for until 4 p.m. the next day. First stop, Captain Mark's whale watching in Pleasant Bay. 2 hours on the water for $100 each, and we saw so many pilot whales. At one point, the captain made noises to keep them round. Pretty magical. I was worried we won't be able to see any whales at all. We also spotted seals camouflaged against the rocks. Since seals are my favorite animal, that was a highlight for me. I was so excited.
These seals don't stay here either. They go south to down to Sable Island on southern part of Nova Scotia.
You know where I can go.
Okay, go.
Sweet? It's not sweet.
Oh, they're hot.
Afterwards, we hit the Skyline Trail, probably the most famous hike in Cape Breton. It's about an hour walk to the boardwalk, then another 30 minutes along the ridge. The view's unreal. Endless ocean, rolling highlands. It's the postcard shot of Nova Scotia.
Is that better?
Thank you. I'm gonna go for it.
Day 7, Meat Cove and Chowder House. The next morning, we fueled up with lattes at Freya and Thor, a little cafe art gallery. Nova Scotia is actually known for its folklore scene, and this is where I learned about Maud Lewis, one of Canada's most famous folk artists. Her cheerful, colorful paintings of rural life are everywhere in Nova Scotia. We then braved the bumpy road to Meat Cove, the northernmost community in Nova Scotia. The name sounds scary, but it's breathtaking. You can camp here on the cliffs or rent a rustic cabin. Just bring your own pillow and sleeping bags. For lunch, we stopped at the Chowder House, which overlooks the ocean. The $20 seafood chowder was packed with more seafood than actual soup. The platter was loaded, probably one of my favorite meals of the trip. From there, we drove to Sydney, where we stayed the night.
Oh, I see! So many!
Day 8, Fortress of Louisbourg. We spent the day at the Fortress of Louisbourg, a massive 18th century French fortress rebuilt to look exactly like it did in the 1700s. Entry is $19 and we ended up spending 4 hours there. The soldiers, the cannons, the blacksmith, it's like walking into the past. They even bake bread in traditional ovens. Everyone was lining up to buy it, so of course I did too. $9 for a loaf and $6.50 for strawberry jam. Honestly, kind of dense and tough. Definitely more about the experience than the taste.
Take the bread out. 1 second, 1 second.
For dinner, we caved and got Korean barbecue because we were desperate for Asian food. Let's just say Toronto still holds the crown.
Going into your dream.
Quick check-in.
Yeah, I guess the hotels keep getting nicer. Day 9, back to Halifax. We made the long drive to Halifax and checked into the Sandman Signature Dartmouth Hotel, $200 for the night. We always splurge on the last night so we can actually rest before flying home. Dinner was at Tony's Donair because you have to try a Donair in Halifax. It's their official food. Spicy beef, sweet garlic sauce, wrapped like a messy, glorious pita. For under $15, it's a must. The rest of the night, we just chilled in the hotel. After days of driving, we deserve it. Day 10, Maritime Museum and goodbye. On our last morning, we went to the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, $9.85 per entry. It's small but really interesting. Lots about the Titanic, shipwreck, and what life was like for the first, second, and third class passengers. Spoiler. Only first class got unlimited lobster. For breakfast, we tried black sheep, where I had a savory bagel and some oysters, supposedly sweeter than Toronto's. I probably wouldn't have noticed until my husband pointed it out. But hey, I'll take it. Then it was back to the airport and home to Toronto. Final thoughts. So, what did I think of Nova Scotia and PEI? Honestly, it's a chill vacation. Perfect if you're looking for beautiful drives, history, and good seafood without breaking the bank. Highlights for me: whale watching, the Skyline Trail, Peggy's Cove, and lobster in PEI. The Cabot Trail is stunning, but only about 30 minutes of it is jaw-dropping postcard level. The rest is nice, but not as dramatic as Banff. Food-wise, Cape Breton wasn't great for me. Lots of pub food at Toronto prices, which didn't feel worth it. Halifax had better options, but Toronto still spoiled us. If you want scenic views, historic forts, and a slower pace, this is your place. And that's my 10-day Nova Scotia and PEI trip. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Would you do this trip? Or are you more of a Banff and mountains person? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.